Feedback. Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton.
And I am Thabiti Mpinga.
Inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback,
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And take us along with you. Feedback, feedback, feedback.
It's you liberals who have lifted them up, Howard.
Paul, you conservatives make a mistake. You can't afford to strangle hope in people. Without hope, people become dangerous.
No, Howard. You liberals have let them invade our society. You give them jobs, political jobs.
Paul, you missed the point. It's only the smart ones we move up.
That makes it even worse.
No, we have to move them up. If we leave a smart one in the ghetto, he might develop into a leader against us. But if we raise him up into white society, we neutralize him. He feels compelled to try to act like us. He loses his identity and his racial anger, if he has any. He becomes alien to his brothers. They realize he sold them out, and they grow to hate him. He becomes worthless to them and safe for us. No, thank you. In fact, in his love for the creature comforts, except for his color, he's become one of us.
All right, and we are here. We are, well, not quite hot anymore. We are moving into the fall. Anytime you go from 90 degrees to 60, it's a shock. Thank you so much for tuning in to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. My name is Theo Broughton, co-founder of Hood Research. And I want to thank those of you who helped to sponsor this program. And for those of you who are thinking about sponsoring this program, please write your check or your money order out to Hood Research. But if you prefer, you can write it out to Watkins Broadcasting. We have no objection to that. But we do ask that you mail it to Hood Research. P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. Again, please mail it to Hood Research. P.O. Box 4416, Detroit, Michigan 48204. I want to say good morning to Sam and to Rosa and to Vera and Barbara and to Ron and to Les. And this past Saturday was really a good weekend. You know, Thabiti, there were so many people that I met this weekend and haven't seen in quite a long time. And Agnes was there. I had been called up, and I called and said that Agnes wanted to present an acknowledgement to Marie Thornton and to present it to her because of all the years of her work in this community. And I thought that was a great idea. And we had one presented to her also from Hood Research, because we too appreciate all of the work that she has done over the years and in supporting the children in our community and fighting for a better quality of Detroit public school system. And it was a great idea that Agnes had. And so that took place the last hour of the Hood Research meeting. I did find, Thabiti, that there are some people who are not aware that on the second Saturday of each month, Hood Research has a meeting, and the meeting goes from 2 until 6 p.m. And the reason that the meeting goes from 2 until 6 is because we have so many who want to come and share information that they have researched. And we appreciate the fact that they do that they have ideas, they are concerned about the quality of our lives here in the city of Detroit, and they want to share the information that they have gleaned as well. You know, I met Walter, and McLeod was there, and Clementine was there. I was happy to see her. And Gladys And you know, it was a very fruitful meeting. Judge David Perkins, who was a member of Hood Research, was there, and Judge Chris Blunt. They both came, and they fielded questions for the people who were present and wanted to get some information and know more about them and know more about the judicial process and the courts. And they invited all who were there, and those of you who are tuned in as well, anytime you want to come to their courtroom and sit in and see how it works. You know, in years past, we had court watchers. We don't have court watchers like we had in the past, but it was very important work that members of our community did, because if there was a judge who was not being forthright and honest with the people in the community, they were able to let us know, so that when time for election came, we knew that that was not a person who was supporting the citizens here in our community. So we knew not to vote for that person. Don't put them back on the bench, because they're not acting in the best way for the residents here. So that was a good thing that went on, and I think that Marie was surprised and appreciative of all of the accolades that she received, the certificates of appreciation, and Ms. Watson gave her a big donation, and I'm hoping that Marie will call in, because she said thank you to her there, but she's welcome to call in to the station and thank Rosa Watson in person. You know, it was really a good time to be had by all. I wish I had known more in advance that they wanted to do it, because I would have ordered refreshments, you know. But next month, Hood Research is going to honor the Mother of the Year and Father of the Year. So if you have a recommendation for a person to be chosen, please call Hood Research, area code 248-234-2371. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371. Hood Research has a website, hoodresearch.org. We have Facebook and Twitter and all the bells and whistles. So feel free to log on and add your comments to the Hood Research Facebook page as well. Who you want to talk to?
Shout outs to, we got a viewer I didn't know we had, and then we got a couple of callers. I was going to ask you all just to bear with me for a moment, but a shout out to Brother Charles Walker. He's a dedicated Hood Research viewer, and he always asks me personally about how Theo is doing. I said, she's doing great. You can't keep her still. And also, I'd like to say shout out to Ruth Ann and Shane. I saw him over the weekend, and his mom, Jackie. Both of them are very, very a wealth of knowledge, I put it that way. Along with Brother Smith Bay, Brother Fred, Sister Sheila Ragland, Sister Frida Washington, Cheryl D. And I just want to say, again, I always ask you all to have pen and paper handy, and ask you to have your family, friends, co-workers, and neighbors tune in to feedback here at 88.1 WHPS.
Okay.
We'll go to the callers.
Oh, yes, of course.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
This is, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Brother Mike.
Oh, yes. Caller from Connecticut. How are you today?
All right, how are you feel?
Go ahead.
I was just reminding people about the hunger strike that's going on in the prison system across the country. They get ended September the 8th. I don't know.
Can you understand him?
It's
extending
breaking
on.
up a little bit.
Michael,
Mhm.
your phone is breaking up. Would you hang up and call us right back so we can hopefully hear you clearer?
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
thanks. All right. Next call.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Happy Monday.
Hey, happy Monday to you.
Slide Go, Channel 91 Comcast.
She is too.
I enjoyed the meeting, and I thought it was a beautiful thing that was done for Miss Thornton. She deserved all the accolades and the recognition that she got.
Mm-hmm.
The meeting was fully attended and with well given information. I was told that today, Monday at 4 p.m., Mufford High School, Dr. Beatty,
Okay.
and the health department will be there regarding the water issues, and that's 4 p.m. at Mufford High School,
Mm-hmm.
Wyoming, near Curtis and Pickford. And then there's another meeting today, I believe, 7 p.m., Second Ebenezer Church,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe the mayor will be there.
Okay.
And we need to show up and ask why is Davison Aerospace School dismantled and
Right.
duplicated in Grand Rapids for other families and children,
Mm-hmm.
taken away from our community and given to other communities.
Right.
This is happening for centuries, presently, and we should be sick and tired
Right.
of how our community is being dismantled. Our children are being pimped and played for. Our children are being poisoned. And the list goes on what's going on with our community.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the nerve to take our inventions and our programs and use it to benefit them and theirs.
Right.
I'm sick and tired. I'm sorry. I'm getting a little bit, but I'm just sick and tired
Yeah.
of this history, this nasty, ugly history that repeats. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm too mad to say anything else.
Right. Oh, okay. All right.
Okay,
Now to share that once again for all of you who are tuned in, as the BD says, you need to have pen and paper handy in case it's something you want to jot down. And this is certainly something to jot down. We just had information shared with us that this evening, I should say this afternoon, at 4 p.m., 4 p.m. at Mumford High School, is a meeting. Health Department is going to be there. Also, I think someone had shared that the superintendent of schools is going to be there as well. And they're going to talk about the water issue in the city of Detroit, the contamination that has been uncovered. One of the things that I had heard was 24 schools had been tested, and 14 of the 24 have found to have lead and copper in their water. Since that time, the superintendent has ordered all of the water fountains to be turned off. Not the bathroom facilities, but the water fountains. And because of that, he is having bottled water delivered to the schools. Bottled water delivered to the schools. Now, the statement is that all of the schools are going to have bottled water, and I guess the remaining schools are going to be tested. But so far, that is the information that has been shared with us. Secondly, there's a meeting this evening at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. this evening at Second Ebenezer Church. And that is a community meeting, and we're told that the mayor will be in attendance. And it's a community meeting at 7 p.m. And the location of Second Ebenezer Church is DeQuinder and McNichols. For those who may not know by now, McNichols and 6 Mile is considered the same street. DeQuinder and McNichols this evening at 7 p.m. So those are 2 meetings this evening that you may have an interest in participating in. And lastly, for those of you who want to know, Professor Michael Griggs has suffered the loss of his brother. And the homegoing service is this morning at 11 a.m. at the Fellowship Chapel that is on Outer Drive in Southfield. That's 11 a.m. this morning. Outer Drive in Southfield.
He didn't call. Oh,
Oh,
here it is
okay.
right here.
Another call? Okay.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share?
Hello?
I'm thinking.
Hello?
Sorry.
I don't know what that
Just
is.
have to say that your phone is breaking up. We're going to ask you to call back. That may be our call from Connecticut.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Let's try it again. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share? Okay. Please feel free to call back again. We were having technical difficulties, I believe, on your
The
end.
phone reception. And those of you who are tuned in, let us know how you're viewing us, if you're viewing us on Comcast Cable or on any of your apps, if that's coming through. We would like to know.
And-
868-4336.
And I would just like to add that we're less than 60 days, 2 months from the general election. And if you haven't registered, it's very critical that you make sure that you and try to encourage family. I know it's not easy because I work with mine and some are engaged and some aren't, but this is a very critical election. I was listening to a show on public broadcasting. It was this weekend, and we talk about reclaiming the House in the House of Representatives, and we only need 23 representatives, which they say looks good, but if you don't vote, it doesn't matter.
It won't look
But
good.
locally, I was listening to a GOP consultant yesterday, and he said that there's an excellent chance that the Democrats can take back this state house, but it may be a little bit more challenging for us to regain the Senate, but to have at least some semblance of balance of power there.
Yeah.
So he feels, it was kind of interesting, the conversation he had, because he was asked about Shooty Whitmer and Stabenow versus John James, and he says that he feels, you know, and he's a political consultant for the GOP, and I think said he's had 59 out of 60 successes, so he's got a nice track record as well. But he feels that the House is pretty much at stake now, and that Whitmer and Stabenow should be a shoe-in pretty much. It's just about how large the margin is. So let that encourage you to get out there again to vote, and try to encourage family and friends, because this is critical.
Well, you know what? If people say, "Oh, I'm not gonna vote. My vote doesn't count." If you don't cast it, it to you it can't count. However, if your vote did not count, there would not be such a strong effort to keep you from voting, right?
Definitely. Gerrymandering, voter suppression, that stuff is real.
And that's a strong effort to keep you from voting. So when you say, "Oh, I'm not going to vote," you're helping the opposition, making it real easy for them to keep you from voting. If it was not important, they would not go to such lengths to stop you from voting.
And let me repeat just what Theo said. If your vote wasn't critical, then there would be no effort to suppress it. So don't be naive in thinking that. And then let's say you say your vote doesn't count. Well, 500 people vote. If you vote, that's 501. It does count. It does add up. So the math is clear.
Absolutely.
And we got a full bank of callers.
Oh, okay.
Touch the nerve.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Praise the Lord. Hello.
Hi, is that Rosa?
Yes.
Are you watching us on?
Comcast.
Okay. So we know Comcast is working. And you're,
Okay.
you're clear. Your voice is clear.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you
You're
this
real
morning?
clear to me, too.
Oh, good.
I just go along with everything that both of you are saying about voting.
Yes.
And Theo, I want to thank you for what you do for the community. You've been working out there for years, and people should just support you in every way. Everything that you mentioned come to fruition. I just thank you, Theo. And I want to tell you another thing.
What?
I ordered those donuts.
Oh, you did? Oh, my
Theo, they are so delicious. And another thing,
What?
I ordered Bon Appetit.
Oh,
Theo,
yes.
those lobsters were just like Maryland's. The seafood in Maryland at Phillips Restaurant. It was so good.
You had the lobster?
I had lobster and a whole slab of ribs, asparagus, and those roasted potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Me and my husband enjoyed it because, we're not in the best of health right now. And it was good, healthy food.
Yes, yes.
And I want to thank you for just recommending those things to us, and we can eat good and healthy.
Oh, that's right.
The donuts were so good for dessert.
That's great. That is great.
Thank you,
Sugar
Theo,
Ray,
for
you're
telling
welcome.
people how they can just support the black businesses.
That's right.
That's so important. We got to support one another.
That's right.
And believe me, we get quality results and food.
That's right. Yes,
Continue
Sean,
your
Bon
good
Appetit.
work.
His chest is just sticking out right now.
Yes. Well, just continue your good work.
Okay.
And please call me if I could be of any assistance in any way.
All righty. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Bon Appetit. Hood Research, we had our meeting at Bon Appetit one day so that we could support it. And the food is delicious, I got to tell you.
Shout out to Bon Appetit.
That's
and
right.
It is good.
And then Rosa Watson was saying that she had an opportunity to try Sugar Ring Donuts. So that was a good thing, too. So,
Yes,
they deliver.
And we have to say again, and I've emphasized this, that we talk about the 7 principles of Kwanzaa, and I'm always emphasizing one about cooperative economics. So if you deal with Sugar Ring Donuts or Bon Appetit, you're actually recirculating the money in our community, and that's critical.
And they both deliver.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Right.
Okay. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Slack Cross White Gold. I have to call back.
Yeah, back up from your phone a little bit. Let's see if
I turned it down. It was on the speaker.
Oh, okay.
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 Now, what I wanted to add was while they're poisoning and dismantling black communities, all day yesterday was a show telling people to contact eventmichigan.com, and they're showing people how to come into the city of Detroit and flip houses and buy property. I'm saying this to say this. Get some backbone and some pride to unite and fight for the justice and what is right. Because we constantly being bamboozled. It's called freemichiganevent.com. The show was on all day with an 800 number telling people how to come into the city of Detroit and flip houses and buy property. But yet we're being poisoning, dismantling, illegal foreclosures, and the list goes on.
Right.
We need the backbone and the pride to unite and fight for what's right. Thank you for taking my call.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for calling.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Yeah, my name is Tyrone. I'm reviewing you on 33. I called to ask you that did the school superintendent know about the water a year ago? And also, since they changed the rule that you can't vote straight Democrat
Right.
no more.
That's true.
Shouldn't they be educating the people how to vote? Send them out some type of little model or a magazine, how the ballot look, so people, because they gonna have to take their time and go over the election when we have election now. So
Right.
now is the time that they should teach certain people how to vote. I just call and get your opinion on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with you, and we do talk about that at the meetings that we have on the second Saturday of the month. And we will be talking more about it on this show that we do on Mondays at 9 a.m. And also, there's HR Legal that comes on Tuesday at 9 a.m. We speak about it as well. I definitely agree with you on that. It's important to know who's who and what's what. And I'm glad that you brought that subject up, because we have to talk about it as often as we can and share as much information as we can. Now, supposedly, the clerk sends out a little booklet. I don't remember getting one in August, but I guess hopefully some people receive them to give you the names of the candidates. Now, you need to know that judges do not run as Democrats, Green Party, or any other party. They are what they call nonpartisan. And, you know, the governmental language is made, what do we say, convoluted on purpose. I think to confuse those who want to participate in the process. But partisan just refers to the party, whether it is Democrat, Socialist Party, Tax Party, Green Party, whatever. And they do not run under any particular party. They do run for the judicial seats. And we have to, as we talked a bit earlier, get an opportunity to go to the court to actually watch the judges. And at our meeting, the next meeting, we're going to have more judges to come out so that you have an opportunity to ask your own question. You don't have to sit and watch somebody else ask questions. You can ask your own question of them. And one question that was asked this past Saturday was, why should we vote for you? What have you done to make us want to cast our ballot in your name? There are also supposed to be some questions on the ballot as well. Supposedly the deadline has passed for names and questions on the ballot, but we will know soon all that has been put on there, and we will be glad to share it with all of you. Now, as it relates to Stabenow and John James, there's a question about the fact that he might win simply because he's black. Well, he has indicated that he supports Donald Trump. So I guess the question is he a candidate to support? Do you know what he has done for you, against you? And if he is supportive of Donald Trump, then that's an indication that should he be elected and go to Washington, D.C., it sounds like an indication that he will vote in whatever way the current president wants him to. Now, Debbie Stabenow, on the other hand, they say, what has she done? Well, we have someone looking into some of the things that she has done, but we have here in the city of Detroit a patent office, a United States patent office, the only branch outside of Washington, D.C., the only branch outside of Washington, D.C. is inside the city of Detroit. The name of it is Elijah McCoy Patent Office. And for anyone who may not know who Elijah McCoy was, he was a black man who invented a number of items that have helped us move on into the industrial age, etc. And the most well-known that he invented was the coupling device that caused oil to drip on the wheels of the trains so that they could go farther, faster, last longer. Others tried to copy him, and when the purchasers would come into the general store and buy the copy, I guess trying to be cheap, found out they didn't work, didn't last, weren't efficient, etc., etc. So they brought them back to the general store and said, I want the real McCoy. That's where that saying came from, because Elijah McCoy was the person who invented the best product. So she was involved in getting that U.S. Patent Office district branch located inside the city of Detroit. Somebody else on the line?
Yeah, let me just address one thing that Tyrone said as well. When he mentioned, which is true, that the court has eliminated the ability to have straight party ticketing. For those of you who are voters, what I would say is try to find out as much as you can about the candidates, the proposals, the things that you're going to vote on. Maybe have your sheet ready so that way when you go into the polling place and vote, you'll already know ahead of time, because a lot of times we might be looking at things for the first time. Particularly, we may be familiar obviously with who's running for governor, Secretary of State, etc. But there are a lot of other offices we're not familiar with. So just as a point of note, I think it's good for all of us to have a sheet of, maybe you can write down the representatives in your district, the whoever's going to be Secretary of State, Governor, etc. When you go in, then you can breeze through it as opposed to muddle through it, because that's what has discouraged many voters, which is why they've done that in the first place. Again, trying to suppress the vote, making it more difficult. And Rona Romney, who is the, I believe, daughter, if not granddaughter, of former Governor George Romney. She admitted that when they started doing these things, they did it with the express intent and purpose of limiting minority votes, particularly in the Detroit area, along with Flint, Pontiac, and other areas where there is a heavier population of African Americans. So again, just have a sheet ready for yourself. That way when you go in, you won't feel as frustrated, and then you can move the line along, because we need all soldiers on the front line this time.
That's right.
We'll go to our next caller. Hello, caller, you're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Good morning, Sister Theo and Brother Tabiti. This is Sister Akila.
Hi,
And
thanks for
I'm-
calling.
And I'm viewing you on Comcast, Channel 91.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to ask you if I can make an announcement.
Yes.
Okay. Before I make the announcement, I would like to extend my well wishes to Marie Thornton. She has been a soldier out here in the community for many decades. And I am one who believes in telling people how I feel about them before their funeral.
Right.
So I want to put that out there. Secondly, I want to thank you for the donuts.
You're welcome.
They were absolutely delicious. They were a big hit, and they went over very well.
Okay.
And now we have a new black business to support
That's
and
right.
patronize.
Yes.
So we want to thank you for sending her to us.
Oh.
And the announcement, Theo, has so much to do with our youth and the way we think today. We often talk about our children. As you know, the Marcus Garvey movement, we're out here. We're dealing with crime. We're trying to help make our streets safer for ourselves.
Right.
But you often say, Theo, if we know better, we would do better.
Yes. Hopefully.
So we're bringing in a speaker, and we have brought him in almost every year for the past 10 years.
Uh-huh.
And his name is Renoko Rashidi.
Oh, yes.
Ranoko Rashidi.
Yes.
Okay.
He is a master teacher.
Mm-hmm.
He's an activist, a historian. He's a prolific author. He's a researcher, a world traveler.
Okay.
He's been to over 120 nations, to the museums, schools, libraries, churches, mosques, cities, and villages.
Uh-huh.
And he's bringing to us a visual presentation to let us know who we are. And we're inviting the public.
Mm-hmm.
And because this information is so important to our children,
Mm-hmm.
youth 18 and under are admitted free.
Okay.
And the donation for college students is only $10.
Okay.
And for everyone else, it's $15 at the door.
Okay.
This is also a celebration and recognition of Minister Malik Shabazz's commitment to his service in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And he has, along with his organization, helped so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And we are encouraging you to come out and to support him and to celebrate him while he is living.
Uh-huh.
So the celebration will be held Friday at True Oracles of God Ministry at 1500 East State Fair at Hall. Food will be sold because it is a fundraiser. But we're asking everyone to come out.
Okay.
And if you can't stay, then just come by, say hi, shake the minister's hand, buy a book from the author, or either patronize the vendors that will be there. But let's support the minister, the the Marcus Garvey movement, and the work that we have done and will continue to do in the community.
Okay. Now.
Thank you so much.
Wait. Don't go.
Okay.
It's the date. What is the day and the date, first of all?
This Friday's day, I'm sorry, I didn't even have it down. The time, while I get the date, is starting at 6:00.
Okay, 6 o'clock p.m. And it's this, what'd she say? What day?
Now, that's this Friday coming.
Yes.
Okay, this coming,
Yes.
this coming Friday at 6 p.m. Okay, now, the location is, what again, the address?
1500 East State Fair.
Okay, 1500 East State Fair. The
Yes,
name
ma'am.
of the facility?
True Oracles of God
True Oracle.
Ministries.
Okay, it's a
And-
church. It's a church.
Yes, ma'am.
True Oracle of God, a church. Okay, 1500 East State Fair.
Yes.
Okay. Now, does State Fair run parallel to Woodward or parallel to
It's
Six Mile?
it's right off the Chrysler Freeway, I-75, about 6 blocks.
Okay. Now, but
And actually, it crosses Woodward, but it stops at Woodward. So State Fair comes to Woodward, but it runs east from there.
oh, okay. So State Fair runs east and west. Now,
Yes.
Is it on this side of I-75 or the other side? East side?
It's on the, I'll give my directions, it's on the east side of 75.
Oh, okay. So you can't
Mhm.
take State Fair from Woodward and go straight across.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, children under 18, anybody under 18 gets in free,
Yes.
right?
Children under
Students
17 get in free.
up to and
College students get in for $10.
and everybody else $15.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I would just like to add, too, that I followed Brother Renoko Rashidi over the years. He's an excellent historian, researcher, and I put him right near the level of like Dr. Benz, Dr. John Henry Clark, etc. He's very very knowledgeable and well-traveled and well-learned.
Oh, okay. Now, will there be books by him and CDs by him?
He will have his books, and he will autograph them, and he will have CDs too.
Okay, okay,
And we're going to have other vendors there as well.
okay.
And that is September the 14th.
Ah, okay, Friday. September
Yes, ma'am.
14th, that's what I was.
September 14th,
Oh, okay. September
Binoco Rashidi.
All righty.
And we're encouraging everyone to come out.
All right.
First of all, come out and get the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And then second of all, come out and support the Marcus Garvey movement.
All right. Okay,
All
that
right,
sounds
Theo and Brother Theo. Thank you so much.
good. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Hey, this is Kurt, man, from Detroit, Channel 33. How you doing this
Oh,
morning?
fine.
Great.
Thanks for calling.
Hey, I was just wondering, we're not on a different water grid in the school. What does that mean if they get stated water, that we also get less water somewhere in those surrounding neighborhoods?
Well,
Would you repeat that again, please?
Yeah.
I said if the schools are getting leaded water,
Uh-huh.
they're not on a separate grid
Right.
No.
for getting water than the rest of us. Wouldn't
I
that
don't-
also mean that we getting 10 or 2 in some of our
Yeah.
homes surrounded in that neighborhood? You think?
It certainly sounds like that, and that is definitely one of the points that needs to be brought up this afternoon at 4 p.m. at Mumford High School. Health Department will be present, and I'm told the superintendent is going to be present as well. But I agree with you.
Well, see-
Yes, there's no separate water line that I found out about.
But see, this is how, all the more reason we shouldn't be even thinking about no shooting. He let that governor get away for doing what he did. So we don't need to let him get away with that here in the city in Detroit. We need to nip this in the bud now, because if those schools are getting leaded water, then we're getting
Let
leaded
it
water.
water.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah, I agree.
That's
with
all I'm trying to say.
you. Right.
And as
right.
far as these teachers are concerned, and they on a hunt for all these teachers, they fired all our teachers and made them recertified. I don't blame them for not wanting to come back. They done messed up their benefits and everything, and their retirement pay and everything else. I don't blame them for not coming back. They wouldn't have to look for no teachers.
Right.
Well, we had enough teachers
Yes.
and $114 million surplus.
Right.
And thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you're welcome. And I understand that serious concern, because it is a serious concern.
And I'm glad he brought that up, because that was the same thought I had, that there's no separate line for them and us, so all of us are being tainted.
Yes, right. And there may be a class action suit coming along that line as well. Next.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Shout out to Kurt. Thanks for bringing that subject up. Yes, Dr. Didi will be there, as well as the health department, and that's a serious question that needs to be answered. How is it just the school and not the rest of the
residents.
surrounding areas?
Right.
Our apartments, our rec centers, and the other parts of the community. With the voting issue, I wanted to express, please research the history of your candidates, because you got a lot of Republicans in Democratic clothing that wants to get in, because
Yes.
that's what's going on right now. We got a lot of Republicans in Democrat clothing in position now, and this is why we are suffering in our communities.
That's
Thank
right.
you for taking my call.
Good point. Next.
Uh-huh.
Good point.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please?
Good morning. Born New, Comcast 91, Detroit.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
I just want to say that, we know who the enemy is. Who the enemy has been for a long time. But we cannot negate the fact that the enemy has gay people who live amongst us. And they don't need to be invited to the picnic, so to speak. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Reverend Howie and Alicia Bass, they work for the enemy, and that needs to be. You have to be reminded of that stuff. This is a life and death situation here. Life and death,
Well,
survival or not. and we got these people running around trying to wear black, proud, and love stuff, but they working and supporting individuals whose policies have and continue to destroy anything that's black in
Right.
in our community. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable.
Well,
I
thank
do want to say too, though,
mm-hmm.
kind of switching up a little bit. I don't know if you mentioned it. That the little white girl, Miss Michigan, she put a shout out to the victims of
Right.
Flint
She did well.
at the Miss America pageant last night. You
Oh.
heard about that? I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, excellent.
Thank you for your input. Now, what the meeting?
Okay.
All right.
Peace.
Peace and love.
Thanks for calling. Peace.
What happened during the Miss America pageant last night is the representative, Miss Michigan, made and I thought it was very eloquent and timely. She made a statement about the bad water in Flint, Michigan.
Oh.
You know, they asked the contestants to make a statement on some level or other, and she happened
Yeah.
to mention the Flint water thing. So a national audience was able to hear that, and I thought that was an excellent move.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. And also, to your point about the election, it's important for us to do our research. The state has information on its website about candidates, and we need to get our own information about the candidates. Tune in to this program, and when it comes on tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, when we have candidates on, you can ask them the question that you want to ask them. Attend our meeting, which takes place monthly. Second Saturday of each month, we meet at the Davos Center, which is located on Grand River on the corner of Wyoming from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And you can come out and share whatever information you have researched on candidates, who we should be looking out for, who we should be supporting. The November election is very vital to the survival of the black folk in particular in this country.
I would like to again just reiterate as reiterate again as we get into the last 3 minutes of the show that at 4 p.m. today there will be a meeting at Mumford High School with Professor or Dr. Vitti.
School Superintendent Health Department.
And the health department. So if you can be there, because knowledge is power. And also at 7 p.m. at the Second Ebenezer Church, the mayor will be in attendance. This will be at DeQuinder and McNichols, 6 Mile for some of you who use that as a. So it's important again to be there. We can be there for show openings, and we can be there when there's a concert down at Little Caesars Arena, etc. And these are nice things. We need to have those variations in our life so that it's just not as stiff and political as it is, but we cannot disregard our responsibility as citizens, and it is a responsibility as a citizen to become engaged in your government. I will share a few things that I've learned over the last couple of weeks that just kind of blew my mind, but again, we're down to our last 2 minutes.
Oh, man. God, I want to hear that, too.
Stay tuned.
That's right. I do want to say that it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary, however, is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. And we at Hood Research seek out as much information as we can to share it with you as you share with us, to help us all make better informed decisions. Hood Research has a website, Facebook, Twitter, all of the bells and whistles. Our telephone number is area code 248-234-2371. Call, leave a message, and your call will be returned. Again, that's area code 248-234-2371.
And the last announcement, and then I'll make my closing statement, is again this Friday, September 14th, at 6 p.m., a renowned researcher, Runoko Rashidi, will be here with a presentation that if you don't have enough pride in yourself, believe me, after you witness this presentation, he's like Michael M. Hotep on steroids, really. He's that good. So he will be here this Friday, September 14th, at the True Oracle of God Ministries, which is located at 1500 East State Fair and Hall Street. And as I always say, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished.